Okay, let's see it. Who's this guy?
Morning. My name is Elaine Brutterhoff, and together with Ben Rottenborn, we represent Amber Laura Hurd.
Born. How do you have that name?
Will you please state your name and address?
Oh my God.
Sure, it's Adam Robert Waldman, Washington, D.C.
And what is your current occupation?
How do you use that? Change your
Attorney.
name.
Do you currently represent John C. Depp II, who I will be referring to in this deposition as Mr. Depp or Depp?
I do.
Okay.
And is this representation an attorney-client representation?
It is.
Does it include any other type of representation of Mr. Depp other than as an attorney-client?
I would instruct the witness not to answer that question on the grounds of attorney-client privilege and attorney work product. You can't answer that question without disclosing communications between himself and his client, Mr. Depp.
Damn.
As you're aware, Ms. Brederhoff, the court has ruled that Mr. Depp has not waived attorney-client privilege and will not be waiving attorney-client privilege. So you're aware of that.
There it is.
Mr. Chu, I'm not sure that you heard
Shut
my
down.
question.
Shut
I was
up.
actually asking him if he had any other type of representation relationship with Mr. Depp other than as an attorney-client.
Okay. Besides that.
I think he can answer that yes or no, but I would instruct the witness on behalf of Johnny Depp not to disclose any communications you've had with your client.
Okay.
No.
Fucking lawyer? Yeah.
So just so we're clear, since we had a little bit of record back and forth, the only way in which you represent Mr. Depp is as an attorney-client representation. Is that correct? I'm sorry, Mr. Waldman?
I believe that's true.
Okay.
Okay.
And you are here today providing this deposition under a subpoena and then subsequent notice, correct?
Yes.
So we had to do it.
And when did you first become
Johnny, thanks
Mr.
for 5
Depp's
subs.
counsel?
Appreciate it.
I think that it was around October 2016.
Okay.
And what is your role in this case as counsel for Mr. Depp?
Objection. And I would instruct the witness not to answer that question.
There it is.
Okay, I'll follow
Damn,
the
this guy's just sitting
when
there.
did you first meet Mr. Depp
Date in the video.
as opposed to first start representing?
February 15th this year. So 3 months
I
ago.
first met him in October of 2016.
Yeah, 3 months ago.
How is it that you came to meet Mr. Depp?
Okay.
The general counsel that I referenced a moment ago asked me to go and have a meeting with him, with Mr. Depp, and to talk about a financial problem that he was having.
Did you enter
What
into a
problem is
written
that?
representation agreement with Mr. Depp when you began your representation?
I would instruct the witness not to answer that question. That calls for attorney-client privilege.
Okay, I follow the instruction.
Have you entered into more than one representation agreement with Mr. Depp during the course of your representation?
My man.
Same instruction not to answer. He can't answer that without disclosing attorney-client communications. And attorney work
Damn.
product.
You just shutting it
Mr.
down.
Waldman, when did you consider your
Didn't you?
attorney-client
Apparently.
relationship with Mr. Depp to have begun?
I believe it began the night I met him, actually.
Sometime in October 2016?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Has the attorney-client relationship between you and Mr. Depp been severed at any point between October 2016 and the present?
Would instruct the witness not to answer that question on the grounds that
I love
can't
this.
answer that question without disclosing attorney-client
Yep, there it
communications.
is. Next.
Okay, I accept the instruction.
As Mr. Depp's
Absurdity,
attorney,
thanks for 5 subs, appreciate it.
you have provided him with advice. Is that fair to say?
That's correct.
And you have charged Mr. Depp for your advice, correct?
I would instruct the witness not to answer that question.
Bro.
You can't answer that without disclosing attorney.
Bro, I
client
love this guy.
communications. And the fee arrangement in any event is
Oh my God.
irrelevant. But I'm instructing him not to answer on the grounds of privilege.
I accept the instruction.
Damn.
Mr. Waldman, when you provide legal services,
Jesus,
in an
bro, this is
attorney-client
brutal.
relationship, your understanding of that is that you provide advice and your client in turn compensates you in some manner. Would that be fair to say?
Yes, as a general matter, that's how I understand an attorney-client relationship. Yes.
Uh-huh.
And has Mr. Depp paid you for advice?
I do instruct the witness not to answer on the grounds of attorney-client privilege. You can't answer that question without disclosing your communications with Mr. Depp.
Bro, does he have a soundboard? This is amazing.
instruction.
Is that Ben? Yeah, it's Ben Chu, apparently.
Well, let's go general again and see if maybe we can work at it from that perspective. So in your relationship with your clients, you provide advice and it's up to the client to determine whether to follow that advice. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, of course.
As a general matter, I do agree with that statement.
Yeah,
yes.
sure.
All right. And by the same token, it would be up to the client to determine whether to reject your advice in whole or part, correct?
You're still speaking in general.
Correct.
God.
In general, yes.
In general.
Okay. Now, did your
Let's see if I can get a picture
relationship
of
with
who's Ben Chu.
Mr. Depp, and I'm talking about your attorney-client relationship, deviate from those general principles that in some way Mr. Depp is not permitted to follow or reject your advice?
Yeah, it's this
I
guy.
instruct the witness not to answer the question
It's the
based
main
on
guy.
attorney-client privilege.
I accept the instruction.
Now, Mr. Depp has the right to
Damn.
terminate your representation at any time. Is that correct?
But yes, I think it's true.
I think
Depp-
we need to let...
Yeah,
Be free
it's
to
this guy,
terminate
just so
at
you
any
guys
time.
know.
My apologies, Mr. Waldman. I didn't realize you were still talking. Did you finish?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Now, has Mr. Depp terminated your representation of him at any time between October 2016 and the present?
That's the same question that I instructed Mr. Waldman not to
This
answer
guy.
before, just stated in a slightly different way, so I would instruct the witness not to
Yeah,
answer that
there you
question.
go.
I accept the instruction.
Yep, all right.
Now, and Mr. Depp, as the client in your relationship, is in the position to make the final
Damn.
decision regardless of your advice. Would you agree?
I would instruct the witness not to answer that question. I don't know that I know he can't answer that question without disclosing communications with Mr. Depp.
Bro,
So I instruct the witness not to answer.
now you know where Camille got it from.
I accept the instruction.
Yep. There you go.
Mr. Waldman,
Oh my
if
God.
you were advising a client in an attorney-client relationship,
Holy fuck, man.
and you were in settlement negotiations, would it be you
He's getting
or
shut
the
down
client
immediately.
who has the ultimate decision-making ability?
But to speculate about the question, yes, generally the client would be
Mm-hmm.
responsible for deciding, the ultimate outcome of a settlement. Yes.
Now,
Yeah.
you met Mr. Depp after he
Sure.
and Amber Heard had split up. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And you met Mr. Depp after he and Amber Heard had reached a settlement in their divorce. Is that correct?
That's my understanding.
Uh-huh.
So you have no personal knowledge of anything that went on during their marriage. Is that fair to say?
Well, it depends what you mean by personal knowledge. I wasn't there, if that's what you mean. Correct.
Okay.
You never witnessed any interaction between Mr. Depp and Amber Heard prior to October 2016. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And you have no personal knowledge of any conduct by either of them against the other prior to October 2016. Is that correct?
Again, if you're asking me, do I have any knowledge of their conduct, I think I have knowledge of their conduct. I think maybe you're asking me, did I witness conduct?
I'm asking personal knowledge, which would mean you would have had to
Witness
have
conduct.
witnessed it.
If you're asking whether I've witnessed it, the answer is no.
Okay. I'm starting to
No.
see a pattern.
Your initial knowledge of the relationship between Mr. Depp and Ms.
Yeah.
Heard was based on your interviews with Mr. Depp. Would that be fair to say?
I would instruct the witness not to answer that question because he can't even answer yes or no without disclosing the substance of communications with his client, Mr.
Jesus Christ.
I accept the instruction.
Oh, man.
Once
Oh,
you
God.
came into Mr. Depp's life and became his counsel, Mr. Depp filed with your assistance a number of lawsuits. Would you agree?
Yes,
Did Mr. Depp terminate Tracy Jacobs as his agent before or after you became Mr. Depp's counsel?
Mr. Waldman, I would instruct you not to answer that question if doing so would require you to disclose any communications you had with Mr. Depp.
Oh, my God.
it would.
This is...
How long
Oh
had
my
Tracy
God.
Jacobs been Mr. Depp's agent? at
This
the time
guy's
Mr. Depp
destroying
terminated
it.
Tracy
Holy
Jacobs?
shit.
And again, Adam, same instruction to the extent that
Oh,
answering
man.
the question
Soundboard.
requires you to disclose communications that you had with Mr. Depp. I would instruct you not to answer the question.
Oh, I bet.
It would.
Was it Mr. Depp's decision to terminate Tracy Jacobs?
Again, I would instruct you not to answer that question because that could only have come from Mr. Depp in the communication with you.
Oh,
I
my
accept the
God.
instruction.
Bro, like...
After you began representing Mr. Depp filed a lawsuit against Joel Mandel, Mr. Depp's former business manager, correct?
That's correct.
Oh, I was hoping for the
And
four
you represented
times.
Mr. Depp in that lawsuit against Joel Mandel and his company.
Oh, I was
did you
hoping
not?
for it so much.
I did.
But it was Mr. Depp's decision on whether to file the lawsuit against Mr. Mandel and his company. Would you agree?
I would instruct the witness not to answer that question
Really?
because it would require
Is that right?
communication, disclosure of communications between Mr. Depp and Mr. Waldman as to who was advising who as to filing the case against TMG and the Mandel brothers. So I would instruct you not to answer that.
I accept the instruction.
Okay. Great.
Did Mr.
Next.
Depp have the ultimate decision making ability with respect to the lawsuit against Mr. Mandel and his company?
And again, I would instruct you not to answer to the extent it requires you to disclose attorney-client communication.
It would.
After you began representing Mr. Depp filed a
I love
lawsuit
this.
against Jake Bloom, Mr.
Holy
Depp's former
shit.
attorney.
This is
correct?
amazing.
That's correct.
And you
This is
represented
her
Mr. Depp
versus
in that
him.
lawsuit against Jake Bloom and his law firm, did you not?
I did.
But it was Mr. Depp's decision on whether to file the
God
lawsuit
damn.
against Mr. Bloom and his law firm. Is that correct?
Again, I would instruct the witness not to answer
Oh.
to the extent it requires him to disclose attorney-client communications.
God damn.
It would.
And Mr. Depp, though, was the ultimate decision maker in connection with any decisions made in the litigation against Mr. Bloom and his law firm. Would you agree?
Same instruction not to answer. It's basically the same question.
This is
That's about
good.
the bit. So same instruction not to answer.
How does she never
I
get
accept the
mad?
instruction.
After you
This is
began
impressive.
representing Mr. Depp filed a lawsuit against the Sun
Like-
newspaper and its editor-in-chief.
I mean,
Dan
really?
Woodward, correct?
Correct.
She's always
For purposes
mad?
of this deposition, I may refer to the lawsuit against the Sun and its editor, Dan Wooten, as the UK lawsuit or the UK litigation. Will you understand those references to mean this?
I will.
Of course.
What was your role in the UK litigation?
I would instruct the witness not to answer that question because it necessarily requires
Oh, my
him
God.
or would require him to disclose his communications with his client, Johnny Depp.
Oh my God.
It would.
This
You
is so
represented
good.
Mr. Depp throughout the UK litigation, correct?
Again, I would
And Mr. Depp alleged in the
Just
UK
cut.
litigation that the Sun and Dan Wooten had committed libel by accusing Mr. Depp of being a, quote, wife beater.
What a
and,
bunch of
quote,
horse
and
shit
committing
that is.
domestic violence against Amber Heard, correct?
That's true.
It was Mr. Depp's decision on whether to bring the UK lawsuit against the Sun and Dan Wooten, correct?
And again, I would instruct the witness not to answer
Oh my God.
not to answer because it perforce would require him to disclose attorney-client communications as to the thought process that went into filing that particular lawsuit.
Jesus.
I accept the instruction.
After you began representing Mr. Depp filed suit against Amber Heard, his
Oh
former
my
wife,
God.
correct?
That's correct.
And you represented Mr. Depp in the lawsuit against Amber Heard from March 1, 2019 up until October of 2020. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
And it was Mr. Depp's decision on whether to file the lawsuit against Amber Heard. Is that correct?
Would instruct the witness not to answer that question based on attorney-client privilege.
I accept
Play the button. Say the
Mr.
thing.
Depp is alleging in this lawsuit that Amber Heard defamed him
Oh my
by
God.
suggesting that he had committed domestic abuse against her, correct?
Yes.
As part of your representation of Mr. Depp, you contacted potential witnesses. Is that correct?
Again, I would, that is attorney work product, and that is protected in Virginia.
Jesus.
So I would object on that basis, but you can answer that question yes or no.
He's like, it's in this
Yes.
state? Like,
You
oh
also
my God.
spoke with the press on Mr. Depp's behalf, did you not?
God
And I would
damn.
instruct the witness not to answer to the extent that it requires disclosure of any communications between yourself and Mr. Depp.
It would.
Well, it looks like that's not going to happen.
And therefore,
And therefore, I accept the instruction.
how frequently did you communicate with the press? on
And
Mr. Depp's
therefore,
behalf?
I would instruct the witness not
Say
to
the
answer
thing.
that question because impossible to do so without disclosing attorney-client privilege.
I accept the instruction.
Why did you communicate with the press?
Same instruction not to answer on the same grounds.
I accept the instruction.
What were you hoping to gain?
Same instruction not to answer the question.
bro.
I accept the instruction.
You
Holy
remain
shit.
Mr. Depp's primary counsel for all of his affairs. Isn't that correct?
God fucking damn, man.
I'm going to instruct the witness not to answer that because I don't think you can answer that without disclosing your communications with Mr. Depp. And we have to be consistent.
Man, he
That's
just,
true, and I accept the instruction.
he's not having a good
I'm going
time.
to ask you to take a look at what has been marked as
Or she is, I
exhibit
guess.
number 3. Did there come a time in 2018 that you contacted Rolling Stone about writing an article about Mr. Depp?
And to the extent that you cannot answer it without disclosing communications with Mr. Depp, I would instruct you not to answer.
I think it would implicate discussions with Mr. Depp, so
Ah.
I accept your instruction.
Okay. Yeah, there we go. Something different.
The author of this article, which was
This is
published
so
on
good.
June 21, 2018, is Stephen Roderick. Were you present
I fucking
when Mr.
love
Roderick
this.
interviewed Mr. Depp?
You may answer that question yes or no.
That's it.
It's not yes or no. I was there for some of it.
No.
Okay. Was the Rolling Stone interview before or after Mr. Depp filed suit against the Sun and Dan Wooten?
It was after, right?
I'm not sure.
Do
Okay.
you recall whether the publication of this Rolling Stone article was before or after Mr. Depp filed the lawsuit against the Sun and Dan Wooten?
I don't.
So he doesn't even know. Do a counter? I probably should.
I'm going to ask you
Elven
to take
lawyer.
a look at page 10.
Yeah.
It says on page 10, it was Adam Waldman who first contacted Rolling Stone about writing a story about the injustice being done to Depp's reputation and bottom line. You see that? Well, before you go there,
Holy
Mr. Waldman,
shit.
I asked you a question. I just read that and said, do you see that? Can you answer that question?
I thought I answered yes, but yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much. And is that an accurate statement?
Okay.
No.
What is inaccurate about it?
It says it was Adam Waldman who first contacted Rolling Stone. That's incorrect.
What is correct?
What is correct is that I was not the first to contact Rolling Stone.
Okay.
Who first contacted Rolling Stone?
Mr. Depp.
I'm going to ask the question, notwithstanding, why did Mr. Depp contact Rolling Stone?
I would instruct you not to answer that question.
I accept the
Why
instruction.
not? Say the
Did
thing.
Mr. Depp authorize you to have communications with Rolling Stone to set up this interview?
Instruct you not to answer that question on the grounds of attorney-client privilege.
Man. Yeah, there we go.
I accept the instruction.
Bro, this is...
Did you assist Mr. Depp with publicity on Mr. Depp's behalf?
I would instruct you not to answer on the grounds of attorney-client communications.
I accept the instruction.
In your view,
This has been
does
very
assisting
illuminating.
Mr. Depp with publicity constitute
Oh my
legal work?
God.
The witness has already testified he had one engagement for Mr. Depp, and that was a legal engagement. So I'm going to instruct him not to answer any questions about his communications with Mr. Depp.
I accept the instruction.
In
Yeah.
participating in the interview
Holy
with Rolling
shit.
Stones, were you speaking on Mr. Depp's behalf?
And I'm going to instruct
And-
not to answer because, again, I don't think you
Yep.
can answer that question without disclosing your communications with
And-
Mr. Depp
yep.
about authority. So I'm instructing you not to answer the question.
Wow.
It was Mr. Depp's choice whether you said anything to the press relating to Mr. Depp. Would you agree?
I instruct the witness not to answer.
Okay, we've got 2X.
I accept the
Come on, let's go for a
Mr. Waldman,
triple.
You reached out to a number of other publications to speak
Wait,
on
that's
Mr.
6 in a
Depp's
row?
behalf. Do you recall?
Again, I would instruct not to answer to the extent it requires you to
7?
disclose communications that you had with Mr. Depp.
7?
It would, and I accept the instruction.
Bro, this is better than
How many
Street Fighter.
publications did you communicate with
Holy
on behalf
shit.
of Mr. Depp?
Same instruction not to answer based on attorney-client privilege.
Oh
and
my
attorney work
God.
I accept
8?
the instruction.
No way.
How many publications did you reach out to on Mr. Depp's behalf?
No way
relating
we
to
hit
the
10.
UK litigation.
Same
No.
instruction not to answer
9?
on the same grounds.
9.
That's
All
the
right.
instruction.
Here we go.
How many publications did you reach out to on Mr. Depp's behalf relating to this litigation?
Come on.
Same instruction on the same grounds.
I accept the
He's getting
instruction.
tired of saying
How
it.
many publications did you reach out to concerning allegations that Mr. Depp had abused Amber Heard?
Same instruction, same grounds.
I accept the instruction.
11.
Mr. Waldman, you had a Twitter account, did you not?
I did.
Okay. All right. We got
When
one.
did you begin that Twitter account?
All right.
I'm not sure of the date.
He doesn't know.
Approximately when?
Why would you ask him? It's on the
I'm not even
page.
sure of the year.
It's on the page, Elaine. Just look
Prior
it up.
to 2005, 2010,
2005?
2015?
Do you want me to speculate?
I want you to give me your best estimate.
Why?
Okay.
I'm really not sure of the year. I couldn't put a specific date on it.
Good smart. He shouldn't
Do you
even try
Want to
to.
give me ranges? I could try.
It's in the
Do you
last
recall
20
how many
years.
years you had the Twitter account?
Not precisely, no.
Oh, ask another question the
Was
other
it
way.
more than a year?
I think so.
Was it more than 3 years?
I don't think so.
Okay. So it was recent.
Now, you had your Twitter account suspended, correct?
Ooh.
Yes, that's true. My Twitter account was suspended.
Do you recall when that was?
This is the first time he smiled. Coach, thanks for a 10. Why?
Not with specificity, no.
Do you recall why?
Huh?
Well, I
Well.
wrote several letters to Twitter to ask why I was suspended for life from their platform. And the response that I received was multiple violations of their policy.
Oh.
So I asked, could they name one example
And they didn't.
of those multiple
They
violations?
didn't do it, did they?
And they responded by saying now they were appealing, without my asking them to do so, my suspension. And that's when they sent me another note that I was suspended for life.
So just
You hear
so
that,
the record's
Elon?
Clear. So
Huh?
you have been suspended for life by Twitter?
Yes,
Oh.
Okay.
Sounds good to
Do
me.
you have a Twitter account now?
He's got another one.
no,
Do you still communicate with
He's
the
not gonna
press
expose his burner.
relating to Mr. Depp?
Not even for
And I
perjury.
would instruct the witness not to answer the question to the extent that it requires you to disclose communications between you and Johnny.
it would, so I accept the instruction.
Okay. All right.
You
One.
still communicate with the press on Mr. Depp's behalf?
This is going to be two.
Same instruction,
Two? All right.
same grounds.
I accept the instruction.
I wonder why he got
Has
suspended.
Mr. Depp ever asked you not to speak to the press?
Same instruction, same
Three?
grounds. That clear on its face, it would require
On
Mr.
its
Depp,
face.
Mr. Waldman to disclose his communications with Mr. Depp, which he will
He's
not
getting
do.
tired of saying the same thing over
It
and
would,
over.
and I accept the instruction.
Would you have followed Mr. Depp's direction if he had asked you not to speak to the press?
I will instruct the witness not to answer because it's an end around the attorney-client privilege. Clever, but I'm going to instruct the witness,
Clever.
not to answer.
Clever.
I accept the
Oh
instruction.
my God.
Has Mr. Depp ever
Four?
asked you not to speak to the press
Oh,
about issues involving
shit.
he and Amber Heard?
We'd instruct the witness not to answer the question on attorney-client privilege.
5.
I accept the instruction.
Holy fuck.
Would you have followed Mr. Depp's direction if he had asked you not to speak with the press about issues involving he and Amber Heard?
And I will instruct not to answer on the grounds of
Is that
attorney-client
right?
privilege.
All right, we're at 6. All right, here we go. Come on.
Has Mr. Depp ever asked
Ben
you
Chu?
to
Yep, that's
correct
Ben.
or retract
It's Big
any
Ben.
statements you made to the press relating
Break
to
the
Mr.
record?
Depp
There's
or
no
Mr.
way.
Or Amber Heard?
Would instruct the witness
7?
not to answer on the grounds of
Over
attorney-client
halfway there now.
privilege.
I accept the instruction.
Mega objection? Yeah.
Would you have followed Mr. Depp's direction if he had asked you to
Uh-huh.
correct or retract any statements you made to the press relating to Mr. Depp? or Amber
Speculation,
Heard?
right?
Same instruction, same
Yeah.
grounds.
And I accept the instruction.
That's 8.
Have you ever asked the press to correct or retract any statements you have made to the press relating to Mr. Depp or Amber Heard?
I want to make sure I understand the instruction. Are you saying you instruct not to answer in the event it implicates privileged conversations with Mr. Depp?
Yeah, I think I'm going to instruct not to answer.
Okay, thank
That's
you.
what I thought.
understand.
I was thinking about that. I was like, hey, you know,
Mr.
that's a
Waldman, I'm
9.
going
That's
to
a
ask you to
9.
take a look
Yep.
at what has been marked as
Holy shit, it's
exhibit
9.
number 4. I think I'm going to try to
Are we gonna
blow
go
it
into
up
double
just
digits?
It's kind of hard to read. Okay. And it's
Holy shit.
it's an article from July 3, 2020. For Mail Online. This is Daily Mail Online. Do you see that?
Unfortunately.
I do.
No. Actually, if I'm just going to go to page 8,
Uh-huh.
I'm going to ask you to take a look at the following. It says, Adam Waldman, Depp's lawyer, said afterwards, quote, Amber Heard and her friends in the media used fake sexual violence allegations as both a sword and a shield, depending on their needs. They have selected some of her sexual violence hoax facts, end of quote, as
Hoax
the sword,
facts.
and inflicting them on the public and Mr. Depp. Do you see
No
that?
wonder Twitter banned him.
I do.
Did you make that statement?
I believe I did.
My man.
Did
My
you make
man.
that statement on behalf of Mr. Depp?
Instruct the witness not to
All right,
answer
that's
that
one.
question on attorney-client privilege.
Reset the
grounds.
counter.
I accept the instruction.
Why did you?
That's crazy. That's crazy. All right, we don't know if we're at 2 or not. What happened to the fucking...
Were you representing Mr. Depp at the time you made this statement?
And in any event, I'm going to instruct the witness
2?
not to answer that question on
Okay,
attorney-client privilege.
that's 2.
I apologize. I actually didn't hear the question. I can agree with the instruction, but I probably should.
Fair enough.
Amy,
Fair
could you
enough.
read that back, please?
He doesn't even know what happened. Wasn't paying attention. Holy shit, stop chopping at his friend. His friend's
at the time
broken.
you
Oh,
made
there we
this
go. We got
statement?
it.
We would instruct the witness not to answer on attorney-client privilege grounds.
Wow.
Thank you. I accept the instruction. Sorry for the repetition.
Thank you.
Did you
All right, we're on 4?
discuss this
Is that
statement
3 or 4?
with Mr. Depp
It's
before
3?
making
Okay.
the statement?
Same grounds.
Same grounds.
Yeah, I accept the instruction.
4. All right. Now we're speed running.
Did you discuss the statement with Mr. Depp after making the statement?
Same instruction, same grounds.
I accept the instruction.
Was Mr. Depp aware, either before or after, that you were making this statement?
Same instruction, same grounds.
Bro, are we... Come on,
I accept
please. Let's go past 10 this time.
Did you make this
Please.
statement with Mr. Depp's authorization or agreement?
Same instruction, same grounds.
7?
accept
7?
the
Okay.
Was Mr. Depp aware that you were speaking with the press?
Same instruction,
8?
same grounds.
Oh my god.
I accept the instruction.
Did Mr. Depp ever ask you to retract or correct this statement?
Same instruction, same grounds.
9? Okay, here we go.
I accept the instruction.
Ask him if he has a
Depp
Twitter
had
again.
asked you to retract or correct this statement, would you have retracted
Please
or
go
corrected
10.
it?
Same instruction,
Please,
same
yes. All right, we're at 10. Come
I
on.
accept the instruction.
11 is the record.
If Mr. Depp had told you that the statement was not correct, would you have corrected or retracted it?
grounds. Same instruction, same grounds.
Okay. All right.
I accept the
Match
instruction.
point. Match point. Please.
Did you rely upon any statements or evidence from Mr. Depp
Please.
in making
Cook,
this
thanks for
statement?
5 subs.
Same instruction, same grounds.
12.
Yes, I accept the instruction.
12, boys. There it is. Let's go. We're going to the
If you
moon.
could bring up exhibit number 5. Mr. Waldman, I'm going to be asking you a question about a specific statement in this one. If you would like to read the article first, you are certainly at liberty to, and you could take control now and do that.
Thank you, I will.
Holy shit.
It
This
says,
is
I guess,
bad.
I didn't set the stage here. This was the Daily Mail published on July 3rd, 2020. And I'm going to now direct your attention to
Alan
page
Waldman.
9.
Here we go.
Depp's lawyer, Adam Waldman, said the various discrepancies prove that nothing heard and her friends said about the events of May 21, 2016 could be considered credible. Do you see that?
Hearsay.
Okay.
Then
Okay.
I'm going to direct your attention, Mr. Waldman, to the next statement. Quote, quite simply,
Dracon,
this
thanks
was
for
an
5 subs.
ambush, a hoax. They set Mr. Depp up by calling the cops, but the first attempt didn't do the trick. The officers came to the penthouses, thoroughly searched and interviewed, and left after seeing no damage to face or property.
Yep.
So Amber
We
and
saw
her
that.
friends spilled a little wine and roughed the place up, got their story straight under the direction of a lawyer and a publicist,
Yep.
and then placed a second call to 911. Do you see that statement?
I do.
Did you
Man.
make those statements?
Yeah, we saw the body cam. We saw it.
There are two parts to what you've shown me. The first
We've
part
got the logs.
didn't have quotation marks around it.
And I'm not asking about that. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Where it said nothing could be considered credible, that's not quoting me. The part
Right.
with the quote marks, I believe I said that, yes.
So
Okay.
starting from quite simply through (911),
Yes.
you stated all that. Is that correct?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Did you make these statements on Mr. Depp's behalf?
Instruct the witness not to answer on the grounds of attorney-client privilege.
That's too bad.
I accept the instruction.
Why did you make these statements?
All right.
Same
1,
instruction, same
2,
reason.
I accept the instruction.
2. All right.
What were you trying to convey to the press in making these statements?
Same instruction, same reason.
I accept the instruction.
We got a long way to get to
Did you
13.
discuss this statement with Mr. Depp before making these statements?
Same instruction.
But we're getting
same
there.
reason.
That's 4.
I
All
accept
right.
the instruction.
There's 4. All right, let's keep going.
Did you discuss these statements with Mr. Depp following making these statements?
Same instruction, same rationale.
Yes, I accept the instruction.
5.
Was Mr. Depp aware either before or after that you were making these statements?
Same instruction, same reason.
I accept the instruction.
6.
Did you make these statements
Okay.
with Mr. Depp's authorization or agreement?
Same instruction, same basis.
I
Uh-huh.
accept the instruction.
Was Mr. Depp aware you were speaking with the press?
Same instruction, same basis.
I accept the instruction.
Did Mr. Depp ever ask you to retract
We're
or
on
correct
8 now?
these statements?
Same instruction, same basis.
9.
I accept the instruction.
If Mr. Depp had asked you to retract or correct these statements, would you have retracted or corrected them?
Same instruction, same basis.
I accept the instruction.
10. Okay, here we
If Mr.
go.
Depp had told you these statements were not correct, would you have corrected or retracted them?
Okay.
Same instruction, same
11.
basis.
All right, here we go. Here we
Accept the
go.
instruction.
This could be the
Did
record.
you rely upon any statements or evidence from Mr. Depp in making these statements?
Same instruction, same basis.
12. Okay, match point. Here we
Accept the
go.
instruction.
Here we go.
Mr. Waldman, I'm going to ask you to take a look at exhibit number 6. This
Come on,
was another
please.
Daily Mail online,
Please.
July 3, 2020.
No.
And if you would like to go ahead
Please be
and,
some
read
bullshit.
the article, this would be
No.
Mr. Waldman, we were looking at Waldman exhibit number 6, and
This is the guy who Amber Heard called short. He's the bad guy.
July 3rd, 2020.
Trying to ruin their family.
And you were going to scroll through it, and I think we had some technical difficulties, so we
Of course.
took a break. Have you had an opportunity to review it, or do you need to now?
No, Mr. Bradoff.
Short equals
I
bad.
just saw the screen for the first time, so may
That's
I
right.
read it now?
Absolutely. I'm going to ask you to turn to what is the 11th page, the last page you just finished
Fucking
reading.
bitch.
And I'm going to direct your attention to some specific words that are attributed to you. Do you see that it says Depp's attorney Adam Waldman said? Right there? Okay. You see Depp's attorney Adam Waldman said. Do you
Shit.
see that there, Mr. Waldman?
I do.
Okay.
Okay.
And then I'm going to direct your attention to specifically
Specifically what?
the end of Ms. Heard's abuse hoax against Johnny Depp. Do you see that?
Okay.
I do.
Did you speak the words, quote, the end of Ms. Heard's abuse hoax against Johnny Depp?
I'm not sure. It appears
Fuck.
as I look at this that there are quote marks.
Oh
around
my God, we're back
the
down to
statement,
0.
and that suggests that I did. I
Shit.
don't
All right,
remember
back
saying
down to
these
0,
particular
gentlemen. Let's
words,
go.
but
Let's go.
It appears so.
It's okay.
Do you have any reason to believe that you did not say the end of Ms. Heard's abuse hoax against Ms. Johnny Depp?
No, I have no reason to doubt that.
Were you representing
thanks for
Mr.
12
Depp at the
subs.
time you made this statement? I'm going
12
to
subs.
refer to it as a
Thanks.
statement. I'm taking specific words, Ms. Heard's abuse hoax against Johnny Depp.
Uh-huh.
But were you representing Mr. Depp at the time you made the statement that included Ms. Heard's abuse hoax against Johnny Depp?
Instruct the witness not to answer
Okay.
based on
All right.
attorney-client
All right, that's 1.
privilege.
Here we go. We're building up.
I accept the instruction.
Building up.
Why
Let's
did you
go.
make this statement?
Same instruction, same
2.
basis.
All right.
I accept the instruction.
Let's go. Let's go.
What were you trying to convey to the press in making this statement?
Same instruction,
3.
same basis.
All right.
I accept the instruction.
Did you make the statement on Mr. Depp's behalf?
Same instruction,
Okay.
same basis.
I accept the instruction.
Did you discuss this statement with Mr. Depp before making the statement?
Same instruction, same
5.
basis.
Fucking
I
5.
accept the instruction.
Holy
Did you
shit.
discuss this statement with Mr. Depp following making the statement?
Same instruction, same basis.
Uh-huh.
I accept the instruction.
Was
Yeah.
Mr. Depp aware either before
Yep,
or
no,
after
6.
that you were making this statement?
Same instruction, same basis.
7.
I accept the instruction.
This has been very
Did you
illuminating,
make the
gentlemen.
statement with Mr. Depp's authorization or agreement?
Same instruction, same basis.
8.
I accept the instruction.
Let's go. Let's go.
Was Mr. Depp aware you were speaking with the press?
Same instruction, same basis.
9.
I accept the instruction.
All right. We're going
Did
for the
Mr.
record.
Depp ever ask you to retract or
This is gonna be
correct
10.
this statement?
This is 10,
Same
obviously.
instruction, same basis.
Yep, 10. All right.
I accept the instruction.
If Mr. Depp had asked you to retract or correct this statement, would you have done
It's
so?
hypothetical,
Same
maybe?
instruction,
Oh,
same basis.
no. That's
I accept the
11.
instruction.
All right, come on.
Mr. Waldman, I'm going to ask you to take a look at what has been marked as deposition
Fuck.
exhibit number 11, and if you want to take a moment, I'm going to try to make
Come on,
it.
please.
Mr. Waldman, I'm just going to ask you, it's just
Please
kind of
mess it up
2.5
somehow.
pages. Go ahead and
Please
take a
mess it
moment
up
to,
somehow.
Review it, and then I'll ask you some questions.
One way or another. Yeah, we're getting trolled, man. Come on. Uh-huh. Yeah. He's reading it, I'm assuming. Oh my god, bro. Like, this is just like, this is bad.
Okay,
Stream
thank you,
typing?
I've
Yeah,
read it.
this is crazy.
So, directing your attention to exhibit number 11.
Okay, here we go.
So, because there's a number of these, so maybe we can just clear it up right from the start. So we have conversations. You look at the top, conversation.
Yeah.
6 messages, 3 parties, over 209 minutes. And it has this first one, it has a date and a time, and it has a telephone number. Do you see that?
I do.
Okay. And then it has some email messages, or text messages. It looks like it starts
like what?
with Keith Bishop. Do you know who Keith Bishop is?
I do.
Okay.
Who is he?
All right. Shit.
Keith Bishop is
Fuck.
a publicist.
God damn it.
London.
All right, we're back down to 0.
For what publication?
Oh no, he's a publicist. He's an advisor on media.
I see. Did
Okay.
you, at any time, did you or Mr. Depp ever employ Keith Bishop in any kind of public relations
Uh-huh.
role?
Mr. Waldman, I would instruct you not to answer any, I would instruct you not to answer the question to the extent that it would require you to disclose any communications you had with Johnny, either receiving or giving.
1.
I would not be able to answer without doing so. So I
True.
accept the instruction.
Okay, and then Mr. Bishop says, and this is on 1/28/2020.
Okay.
Adam, I can confirm a meeting with the Mail Online for Monday, 17 February at 10 a.m.
Uh-huh.
You see that?
I do.
So did you in fact have a meeting with the Mail Online on 17 February?
I couldn't say sitting here now definitively that we met on Monday the 17th
Fuck.
of February, no. But I see this and it wouldn't surprise me if we had.
And was Mr. Depp with you when you had the meeting?
I believe Mr. Depp was with me when we had this meeting.
Okay.
And you were representing Mr. Depp at the time, correct?
Him nodding at her.
I
She's
would
like, I
instruct
got
the
one.
witness not to
I
answer
got
that
one.
question based on attorney-client privilege.
All right. Nope. Never mind. Back down to
Accept the
1.
instruction.
Okay.
When did you obtain the audio tape that you're referencing in this
We
text
did
message?
good.
And I would instruct you not to answer the question to the
2.
extent it would require you to disclose any communications you had with Mr. Depp, your client.
Oh my god, bro.
It would, and so I won't be able to answer the
Ah, it's too bad. Uh-huh.
What
Yeah.
tape did you provide to the Mail Online, the Daily Mail?
In this, are you asking, forgive me, in this instance relating to this text?
Yes.
My recollection
Shit.
is that I gave a pair of
Fuck.
audio tapes.
All right, we're back down to 0 again.
Whether that occurred sequentially
This is
or at
awful.
the same time, I don't remember, but I provided them 2 tapes.
Okay. Fuck, man.
What training have you had in domestic violence?
Uh-huh, okay.
None.
Okay.
Have you ever represented any clients who have either been accused of domestic violence or had domestic violence committed on them other than Mr. Depp?
No.
And of course, you never saw any, as you would say, element or elements of things that Ms. Heard claimed, right?
I never saw any element or elements of things she claimed. Do you mean, did I ever see evidence with my own eyes that something she was saying was false?
Yes.
Yes, to some extent I have seen evidence of things that show her statements to be false.
Before we get there,
Yeah.
as best you can recall today, who are the eyewitnesses that you, among the 29 or so that you referred to in the text to Christian Carino, that you believe disprove Ms. Heard's claims of abuse by Johnny Depp?
Okay. That's a good question.
Okay, good. It's also probably easier to answer by taking a particular incident rather than just thinking of names.
A
of
general
people.
statement, yeah.
So maybe this is a good illustration that is a helpful answer. On May 21st, 2016, and I always view this as one of her central claims. It was the one she put on the cover of People magazine. It's the one she led with when she went to get her temporary restraining order.
Uh-huh.
The phone to the face incident.
Yeah.
On May 21st, 2016. That's her claim, and that she was further beaten by some appendage of Mr. Depp in the face, and her hair was pulled. And she showed up on the 27th in court with a lot of bruises on her face.
That's the Elden
So-
Lord.
There are 2 police officers, one domestic violence trained female police officer, who've testified over and over and over that there was no damage to the penthouse, which Ms. Heard claimed was destroyed. That's a direct quote, destroyed. There are
That is good
I can
evidence.
think of
Yeah.
9 other witnesses, the majority of whom are either neutral or actually Ms. Heard's own witnesses, who have testified in various forums, various times, that there were no injuries to her face whatsoever between the 21st and the 27th, when suddenly there were bruises.
That's a...
Who are those 9?
Let's see.
Uh-oh. Let's
Laura
see.
Divier, Melanie Inglesi, Amber's own primary makeup artist. Laura Divier was Ms. Heard's assistant and decorator, now works for Elon Musk. Hilda Vargas, Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard's at the time housekeeper.
This guy just knows what happened.
Samantha McMillan, who was Ms. Heard and Mr. Depp's stylist, and a good friend of Ms. Heard.
This guy just knows what happened.
Isaac Baruch, Ms. Heard's and Mr. Depp's friend, close friend,
Yep.
and Ms. Heard's neighbor in the penthouses.
That's the bald guy.
So continuing on,
does the art.
The witnesses, a list of some witnesses to the 21st, to her claims of violence and damage to the apartment. Trinity Esparza, who was the head of the concierge desk at the Eastern Columbia building, and a friend of Ms. Heard's also. Cornelius Harrell, who I think also worked for the concierge desk. Or in
Yeah,
any
this
event,
guy's a
worked for
war
the
master.
Eastern Columbia
Holy
building
shit.
And met with Ms. Heard on the 22nd of May, which meeting was captured on CCTV
Oh
also.
my God.
Alejandro Romero, who I believe is head of security at the Eastern Columbia building.
We know who that is.
And I think Brandon Patterson, also testified about the absence of bruises. And I should even distinguish, because we're talking about the notion of a hoax, I should distinguish these people specifically have given testimony that Ms. Heard was uninjured between the 21st of May up into perhaps the 25th or 26th of May. And then, of course, she appeared bruised again on the 27th. Some of them have testified that even after the 27th, they were with her and she appeared and that she appeared bruised. But during that period between the 21st and the 27th, I'm not sure if I've listed 9 plus the 2 police officers, but I think that's an illustration of what I was referring to.
This guy just knows, man.
In the question you asked me about.
Man.
Can you please pull up
the War Master
document labeled ARW 6?
That's why Twitter banned him.
Sorry, but you do believe that the pictures and videos Marilyn Manson sent you help disprove Ms. Heard's allegations, correct? As to that incident, Thanksgiving, perhaps 2013, I think those videos and photographs, yes, demolished her claim. Have you communicated with other social media users about this case, other than
demolished,
platforms? Let me ask that differently. Have you communicated privately with other social media users about this case?
Other social media, I want to make sure I'm precise. Other social media users?
Yes.
That group would include almost everybody on Earth.
Have you provided information about this case to other social media personalities who then post that information?
I've provided information episodically to.
It's true.
What I would call internet journalists, and I'll define that as journalists who are not affiliated with. You mentioned, I think, NBC a moment ago, or a mainstream media outlet.
Have you communicated with a social media user who goes by the name That Umbrella Guy?
I've had several phone calls with a person who goes by the name That Umbrella Guy. I don't actually know his real name.
Okay. Okay.
Have you communicated with him other than through phone calls?
I don't remember doing so, no.
What are
That's my alt account.
Well, let me ask you this. Have you communicated in a similar fashion with someone on social media who goes by the name That Brian Fella?
Yes.
That Brian Fella.
What about someone who goes by the name The Real Laura B?
Yes.
And have you communicated to those individuals listed?
Fuck are those names? I don't know.
Evidence that you believe suggests that Ms. Heard's allegations are hoaxes?
I would say I communicate with the internet journalists, because we put them in a category calling them that. I've done that.
Okay.
Exactly the same way I would communicate with mainstream media.
Good.
If they have questions about evidence or the facts, I'll inform them.
That's great.
And have you, when you communicate with them, do you do so? You testified some by phone, correct?
What if he asked me to talk to
Yes.
Keemstar?
Do you
Oh my
do so
God.
by text or messenger platform?
Largely, I think by phone, but if I communicated in writing, it would be probably by signal.
Imagine
Can you please
Keemstar doing
pull up
one of these?
the exhibits, ALH
Quantum TV.
17001 to 2, please?
Showing on the screen, Exhibit 24.
No, my first question is that in that box where it says first on the record statement from me regarding the body cam to RTL, Adam Waldman, Johnny Depp's attorney, is that is that a statement that you made to a German media outlet called RTL?
Yes.
And in that statement, you say that LAPD have now opened up a criminal investigation into perjury of Ms. Heard, correct?
Yes.
Did you,
Which apparently is
did
true.
you make a correction to RTL when you learned that the LAPD wasn't, in fact, investigating Ms. Heard for perjury?
Uh-huh. The fuck is RTL?
Well, the way you've characterized it is not exactly what I would agree with. The LAPD told me that they were investigating the perjury claim.
Shittiest
at
media
that time.
in Germany.
Then sequentially came the statement. Then came notification from the LAPD that it was actually the LA Sheriff's Department
German
that was investigating
MTV.
it, and that was the
Okay.
last I heard about it.
And who notified you from the LAPD that it was allegedly the Sheriff's Department who was investigating it?
The same desk officer at Foothill. And when I say he's the desk officer, I don't know if that's not necessarily the job title.
How did you find his, do you have his contact information?
Okay.
I don't think I do. I don't know, but
Was
I
it
don't.
TMZ?
Well, I'm not sure.
And I'm sorry if I asked you this. How did you come into contact with this desk officer?
I brought a binder of information,
Okay.
including the
That's a lot.
statements that had been made, and the evidence
A
showing
mega
that
binder?
those statements were false.
In your view?
In your
so
view.
you took a
Add that in there.
binder to the LAPD and spoke to this desk officer?
Correct.
Uh-huh.
And was that the only time that you spoke to this person?
The 2 times.
Okay.
Were they both in person?
Oh, maybe it's 2 or 3 times. No. No, 2 times we're on the phone.
Was the first meeting in person when you brought this binder?
No, the first was on the telephone.
Okay.
So the investigation was opened up at your request after you brought this binder to the desk officer?
Right.
Is that
No, I
right?
didn't ask him to open an investigation. I filed a claim with the LAPD
Right.
regarding these perjurious statements that Ms. Heard and her best
That's
friend, Dr.
good.
Pennington,
That's
had
what he
made,
should do, right?
to a court.
Yeah.
Was that claim that you filed in writing?
I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Do you know whether that claim was produced as part of your document production in this case? Because I certainly haven't seen it.
I don't know that I ever received a copy of it. It was filed in writing with the LAPD.
Uh-huh.
But I don't recall that I ever received a copy of it.
Did you draft it?
No.
Okay.
So you were talking to the desk officer and he was taking down notes, and is that the writing you're referring to?
Yes.
Did you ever see this alleged written claim?
Yes.
Did you sign it?
I don't recall if I did.
I like how Rotten Boy
Did you
took
ever
over
speak to anyone
because every
other
one of our
than
questions was bad.
your client about this alleged perjury investigation?
Every
other than your
single
client and
one.
the desk officer.
Well, I think this
Uh-huh.
quote that you've shown me to the media would constitute speaking about it.
Did you ever hear anything more about this perjury investigation, to the extent it existed, from anyone, any other third party who claimed that they had spoken to anyone in LAPD or the LA Sheriff's Office?
Well, let's see.
No, I don't think so.
Mr. Waldman, do you have a professional license?
I do.
Do you have your own law firm?
I do.
What is the name of your law firm?
Banned on
Endeavor Law
Twitter.
Firm.
When was Endeavor Law Firm formed?
Uh-huh.
I think it was in 2005.
And who was it who formed your law firm?
It was I who did it.
It was
And who
I.
owns your law firm?
I do.
What is your title at the Endeavor Law Firm?
Managing member, I believe.
And it's none of our business who your clients are, but does the Endeavor Law Firm have other clients other than Mr. Depp?
Yes.
Does Johnny Depp issue you a Form W-2?
I don't think so, no.
Do
For
you
taxes.
receive legal training from Johnny Depp or any of your other clients?
I suppose the practice of law in general is legal training, but if I understand your question correctly, no.
Okay.
Fair point. Have you ever listed Johnny Depp as your employer on any filings with the IRS?
No.
But you offer legal services to clients, correct?
Yes.
Jack?
All right, I'll say, do you offer legal services to the general public?
Well met. Yeah.
Probably not to the general public, but I offer legal services. I think that's your question.
Bro.
Yes, ma'am.
It was I.